You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Deala T. There's no filters. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share with the world. Finna get into it right here, man. Tory Lanez Meagan The Stallion. I feel so bad for you because, one, Tory Lanez, another brother from another mother in the system, wrongly accused, allegedly. But again, the more evidence that comes out says even the more, like the church say, what the fuck is going on? So we're gonna keep it all the way real. So we about to listen to this here and then go from there. Follow me?
Comes out, the more that this case deserves to be reconsidered, as the evidence is pointing to a different truth. I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said dance. He started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Wait a minute. Let's get everything right now. Let's play that back again. Because you heard what I heard, and she acted like this man shot her.
The more evidence that comes out, the more that this case deserves to be reconsidered, as the evidence is pointing to a different truth. I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said dance. He started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times. And it's not a truth that involves Tory Lanez being convicted and sent to prison for 10 years. Yes, this Tory shot me. You shot me. They shot out of the car? On my son, the girl I got, two girls fighting. She got out of the car and pulled over.
Okay, so here we have her right now. Here we have her. Her allegedly claiming that Tory Lanez shot her. Said it on IG, said it on every social media there was. But after they showing the police asking questions. Now here is a situation where, I feel real bad and fucked up for Tory Lanez because, the law-abiding citizens in the world and all of that, living their life, trying to do what's right by people, and then here you do giving this man a case, and this man that already did what, 1 or 2 years already, and ain't nobody got nothing to say for it. What's up to bring chilling? Yeah, we just discussing the situation here about Tory Lanez and Meagan The Stallion. As you don't know, man that been stabbed 14 times. And now, he's recovering. But the situation that's crazy is, they trying to get this man to go back to jail, same place he just got stabbed up at. That's crazy. So now it's like they're going to send him back, because if he gets sent back, he definitely out of there. Because they done hit him 14 times. By the grace of God, the man still living, still walking, still breathing. But it's like, the setup is real. Check this out.
And she goes to the front passenger, and she opens up the car door. So basically, the cop stopped, girl in the back got out, started screaming, shouting, ripped the door,
What?
pulled the door open, but pulled him so sort of viciously. She starts screaming, she starts hitting the girl. The girl on the side, her feet come out, she starts to kick.
So the new evidence that's crazy is security guard that came out and said, I don't want that man to be in jail the rest of his life, or something to that effect. So he come out and say his client, which was the female that was with them, shot her. And he's standing on that. And then, coincidentally, the man gets stabbed up next day 14 times. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy work. So somebody got something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? But I think, to me, It's just messed up because it's like, why Tory Lanez, right? And then you think in your head, you know, he had some videos back then where he was stressing about how he broke the industry system by getting money. But that's the thing I'm saying. Why did they say that before the trial? But see, that's the thing. There's nothing said before the trial because at the end of the day, it's already a system in play. You know how much evidence wasn't given? You know how many, the fact that they even said that somebody on the label from the music industry was able to be in question while people were being questioned. Only man DNA being looked at. He definitely should be free as fuck. But it's just the fact that now, you know, it's really some hot water. Because Meagan The Stallion and Rock Nation, you know, motherfuckers start singing for real and start rapping for real. And that's the problem because she gonna be so embarrassed for saying that Tory Lanez shot her. She also was on the police camera asking, are they gonna go to jail and that she can't do it because it's bad for her image? But she's on multiple videos talking about Tory Lanez shot me. And the security guard just came out the other day saying that she didn't shoot him at all. And then he said that his client had immunity. The girl that was in the car with him, yeah, said he had immunity.
They get out, they start fighting here. They start fighting. The driver comes round and tries to sort of break it up. The girl then climbs back into the front driver passenger seat. Where's the shorter black guy?
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is exactly what I think happened. Let me tell you, this is exactly what I think happened. And it's just off the flip. Tory Lanez have a video out where he's stating that he just broke the industry code, made $1 million in a hot second, going crazy. They had already been pressing him about just independent artists making that level of money without no label involved. Fast forward, y'all at a party, and all of a sudden, Meagan The Stallion had already signed with Rock Nation before that party. But all of a sudden, y'all at a party together, and there's a situation with Tory Lanez, Meagan The Stallion, and the female that was with them. So now you're talking about y'all all in the car and y'all riding. Conflict, a situation pop off. This man in the front seat with the security guard, they in the back seat. Shots fired. They get pulled over. Meagan get out the car. She steps on glass. Step on the glass. She's saying that she's stepping on glass. You see the glass stepped on. So there's no bullet. Because think about it. If you get shot in your foot, 22, I don't care what it is, just a bullet, period. You're going to be limping. And you're going to be bleeding to death. That ain't just no glass. So she's seen coming out the car, hands up, walking regular like nobody's been shot. You step on glass. Shattered bones, that's what they would call it. That's fine. But even in the same sense, when they're saying that this is what the evidence is showing and nobody else's DNA is taking that time, and then at the time, even at the scene, nobody's really questioned but Tory. And then immunity is given to a suspect in the situation. Immunity is only given out when you've done something wrong and you're being excused. And your story is being excused because you are involved in it and you're guilty. That's real. So she gets immunity when the case first started. And now, when the security guard comes out, all that time went by, and now the security guard comes out and says, hey, Tory Lanez didn't shoot him. Tory Lanez actually stopped and tried to stop the situation. And it comes out in the report that the man tried to stop the situation, and the security guard confirms that. Now, it don't matter what we think happened. Once you have a witness that was there and says, hey, this who really did it, and that person that's being blamed has immunity, we gotta stop looking at America and acting like we ain't, like you got what we gotta do to open eyes to know the suspect that's being accused of shooting Meagan The Stallion has immunity. That should tell you alone that person 9 times out of 10 did something they shouldn't have did. Now, they tried to blame Tory Lanez, said the man had a drinking problem. Man ain't never had nothing to drink in his life. That's true, Frank. If you're guilty, you need a lawyer. If you're innocent, you really need a lawyer. That's really real, because in this system today, they would the system is designed to discredit you, period. Like if you working in the government and somebody just say your name tied to some stupid shit, you're done. It don't matter what's going on. You done. It don't matter. So for you to have to be innocent and then have to claim your innocence, in this case here, you know some type of some hoodwink, bamboozling was going on. We all know that. And it's so crazy because I'm trying to figure out why now? I think that's the question to me. Why now? Why so hard now that everything that was done wrong in the case is really coming to the forefront? Why now? Because all of this was still in play then. I think the only thing that's the difference is the security guard testimony saying, hey, my client really shot Meagan and not Tory Lanez. I think that's the biggest thing. But then him getting stabbed 14 times the day after, it's not a coincidence, man. I'm from the hood. I'm from St. Louis. We don't play that shit. We know what's going on. We put it together. Hey, listen. If it quack like a duck, it's a duck. If it walk like a bird, it's a bird. If it bark like a dog, it's a dog. Ain't no cats out here barking, and it ain't no dogs out here meowing. So let's get this shit understood right now, fam. The girl got immunity, and her security guard say she killed him, and now he feeling bad because he don't want Tory Lanez in there talking about spending the rest of his life. First of all, fam, let's get this shit off the board. Security should get effed up because you let me sit in jail that long in the first place. Grateful you came along now and said, hey, my client really shot this man, but you still let me sit in there. This is what I think. I think Tory Lanez getting out, and I think whoever had something to do with the way that the evidence was handled, the case was handled, how they handled everything in its entirety, that is going to speak volumes in his freedom. Period. Because at the end of the day, you don't get a testimony or a witness that strong that's actually there that night that can verify who shot him, and then the actual person who they saying who shot him has immunity back when it first happened. So she was already secured. So when this was gonna come out, because I think they knew this was gonna come out, so she was already secured. I'm gonna say this. I think this process of him even having to go back to jail after being stabbed is one thing. How you doing, Tanya? I appreciate you tapping in. What's up with you? Respectfully, I'm trying to see if they understand that him being shot, he needs to go somewhere that he's safe. That's even if he's still not even let out. But if you're telling me that you think, I think he'll be out with, no, I think he definitely, what you talking about, like 3 months, Frank? Or you talking about 3 years? What you saying? Because you definitely talking about 3 months? Yeah, it's free Tory Lanez till we can't breathe no more. It's free Tory Lanez till Tory Lanez is free. Period. It's free Tory Lanez till Tory Lanez is free. That's it. Because again, all wrong comes to the light. And the shit that they just did to Tory Lanez and how everything is unfolding itself, he's about to be free. Now, the time frame we talking about, that's the thing. Because now the government is going to expose their hand in crookedness and who's been involved with how they treated the trial when it first happened. That's what's going to happen. Because we all know in our right mind, Tory Lanez should be free. But we also know if he's not let free, he shouldn't go back to that jail. He should be going somewhere where he's safe to be able to still fight this case. So eventually he is let free. Let's get that understood right now. That's just what it is. He should definitely be sent to a place of safe, so he's not harmed, so he can still fight this case. Because to be honest, his life is in total danger right now. His life is in danger. They getting on him. They sending folk towards him. And I'm gonna be real with you. There's probably nobody he could trust but God. And I'm gonna tell you that right now, because even the CEOs, the morning that shit happened, he said, his daddy said, okay? His daddy said, Sunstar. That's his daddy first name. And you know, Tory Lanez's name is Daystar. His daddy, Sunstar. Listen, that man said that Tory Lanez told him that the morning he was stabbed, they opened up all the doors. No CEOs was around, and they opened up all the doors like they would for breakfast for you to come out and get breakfast. The only difference was all the CEOs was gone. Nowhere to be found. So you had to think in your mind, or I'm thinking Tory could think like, okay, well, it's a regular day. It couldn't think it's a regular day. There's no CEOs around. What we talking about? So what I'm saying is, even the CEOs that took him to the hospital, yeah, they wanted him out of here. Yes, the Lord truly is the only final say, because I'm going to tell you something. The Lord is truly on Tory Lanez's side. And those people that are involved in trying to take him out and really want him gone, they're nothing but humans compared to God. They're nothing but humans compared to God. Because at the end of the day, if it's your time, it's your time. And if God is going to intervene on your behalf to keep you and watch over you, then you will truly live. And that's what Tory Lanez, he was wounded, but the Lord didn't put him through something he couldn't bear. And that's a real thing. The God won't put us through nothing we can't bear. We'll go through some things, and whether they give us lesson in learning, we can still bear it. And he is still here. But the fact that the CEOs right now, I don't even know who he could even think to trust. Because somebody was paid. Okay, shout out to you, Ty. You see what I'm saying? People that know what's going on in the world. You got experience in the system. You understand how things go. You know who get backdoored. You know who went around the corner. You know who told them be quiet, and you know who said he finna get hit. That's what I'm talking about. I know that, and that's what happened. That somebody was paid and paid the rest, and everybody else went around and shut up and be quiet for a minute. But the fact is, God, you couldn't pay God to keep his mouth shut, to keep that man. You hear me? Because at the end of the day, he's still here in the land of the living, and the CEOs around him should definitely be feeling some type of way, because y'all tried to take his life and didn't, and he's still here. So think about that. Whoever was paid and the job wasn't done, you got to watch your ass now, because y'all didn't do your job. You understand? And that man's still here. And that's going to be on your conscience. And you got to deal with that on your own. You see, it's different when certain people are so terrible out here and so bad out here, and they get what's coming to them. I don't know Tory Lanez from a can of nothing, but the boy ain't got no record. So really, what he did, what he doing? He don't know nothing. He ain't about no action. So when you just a square living your life, just living and doing music and ain't harming nobody, and people just want to take you out like that, oh nah, man, that ain't right, man. Don't do that, man, like that. You get what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you something. The government is about to expose the corruption right now if they don't let Tory out. And if they don't let him out, and if they send him back to the prison, then that means they really want him dead. And nobody's gonna be able to have anything to say. If he goes back to prison, it's a wrap. He got no protection, he got no nothing. Let me tell you something, Frank. Let me tell you what he did, man. Let me tell you what he did. Let me tell you what you don't want to do. First of all, you don't want to be an independent artist in today's age flaunting about breaking the system. And the system, which is meaning the money flow of the industry. So if somehow, some way you making money without them, you're a target and you're an issue. And that's fine because it's a lot of independent artists that's making money without them. But the difference is they not talking about it. They just get money moving. Tory started talking about it and he had a name. Then he started acting like he was taller than the industry. Really, he's really this height. That's the difference. You can't talk like that. You make your money, live your life, and do and breathe and be who you want to be. But that was a message sent to that young man to let him know you're never bigger than us and you're never bigger than the music. And if we make you feel like that you're bigger than the music, then we will bring you down to where the music is. That's true, Tanya, all things. But also as well, we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And that's a real thing that keeps us intact and in line with what's going on when we have the enemy come against us like they've come against Tory Lanez, because that was a straight move. And as we speak right now, there are people that's plotting to come against him again in some type of way. I'm sure of it because in my mind, if they had that much power to make incarcerated COs turn their eye and turn their head, then that mean they got power to make anybody turn their head. You understand, Frank? That's what he did. He was talking too much about what he did to the industry and how he was bigger than that. And then they offered him a job and he didn't want that. But then they called him and said, hey, Tory Lanez. And this is on every social media platform. Tory Lanez is on a call that he gets saying that Rock Nation had called him and said it would be in your best interest not to do that interview. It'll be in your best interest not to do that statement after the incident that happened. So when you're getting a call like that from a label, you're not getting a call from the police, no FBI, no CIA, no none of that. You got a call from a music label telling you not to do a statement. So here we have a label telling you not to do a statement. And then we have a suspect in the car that gets immunity, that has no fingerprint on nothing but gets immunity somehow. We have Tory Lanez as a suspect and gets locked up. And then you have a security guard that comes out a year later and some time saying his client is who shot Meagan Thee Stallion. So this is how we know now that the system will always fail us. Because I ain't gonna lie, I got on this live for real because I be chilling, fam. I don't really be outside. You know, I take care of fam. I be in my world. But I really was like, man, I really feel for that brother. You know, if you got a real conscience, you know, and you've been through something, you can really feel. Because a lot of us, we all been through stuff. A lot of people don't feel shit no more. Niggas become numb to bullshit. You know what I mean? But if you can really feel and understand, if you put yourself in his position, honestly, if you could just think of that for a second, that'll kind of turn your feelings upside down, or that'll really tweak you a certain way if you really sat there and put yourself in Tory Lanez's position. And then it'll really fuck you up to think how Meagan Thee Stallion got off with that all this damn time. Then they tried to kill the man. I mean, you got to think that's deep. This music industry stuff we talking about. This ain't mobsters in the street, gangsters. This ain't no gangster shit. This is music industry shit, fam. What we talking about here, man? Meagan Thee Stallion ain't like that. Tory ain't like that. Fuck is we talking about gangster shit like that? Respectfully, that's real. That's real. I do, you know, and that's messed up because you like, man, that's fucked up. I hate that person did that. They should do this and they should get that and this should be like that. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Let me say it again. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. And it hurt when God get back with your ass than we do as humans, because his ways are not like ours. Our ways are not like his. I fear no man. I only fear God, because he don't have no blood. He's a spirit. So to me, Meagan, it was so funny too, because think about it. When she did that interview, she was in an interview with the ladies of Good Morning America, or whoever that was, like that familiar face. And you can kind of just see her trying to force the tears, force the emotion, force the act, force this, force that. And you can tell it was just her trying so hard. And then the more the interviews, and see, that's how the world works, because now social media is really like a spy for everybody to spy on each other. So all they had to do was just put a couple little seeds. All they did was plant seeds here and there, and they let social media and the world water with the seed, and that's how this bullshit grew. That's pretty much how it happened. They just planted seeds, and the world let it grow. But in this case, even the more, when we're talking about Meagan walking around like nothing's a problem, she's so hurt. Because let me tell you something right now, what's about to happen with her. Woo! Hot! Meagan got a couple situations going on. One, she lied publicly. We all know it. That's what she got right there. Two, Roc Nation is who she's with. So whatever she was told or whatever support they had with her in this situation, she's either going to expose them or they going to come at her a certain way for her to have to take this lie that she put out there. Now, whether she didn't lie for herself or she lied for someone else, she going to have to either run with that lie and take whatever come with it through the government, or she gonna try to expose who put her in this position all in the first place. And that's where her life is about to really change, because you're not finna expose who put her in that position. She not finna tell on no who put her in that position, or she might to save herself. But then if she do that, she becomes a human target, a walking target, because now you have conspired against the people that has signed you and put you on and gave you the world. And that's Roc Nation. So now you got a situation where she's gonna have to make a decision to protect herself. Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, because Desiree Perez is right now in a case being sued by her daughter and husband. They got a case right now against Desiree Perez, Roc Nation, creative arts company that she was working with, against her daughter and husband. That's exposing everything of her operations before she became the CEO of Roc Nation, where her back then life was, as far as with the police, informant, all of this craziness. First of all, for somebody like that, how do you even become a Roc Nation CEO? If you was some informant, had a different name, you was in the street, you had to do with theft and all of these other things going on. This is all Desiree Perez, which was under some other name before that. Yeah, if Meagan said, no, it don't work like that. Oh no, it don't work like that. See, it worked like that. That's why he got locked up. Because a woman could just say, hey, this person shot me, and then we just finna lock you up. But all of this evidence that's starting to come to the surface, and that's starting to come from here, and that's starting to come out of the dirt, that's gonna free Tory Lanez without a shadow of a doubt. Because again, Meagan The Stallion can say she got shot, but there's no evidence of her being shot by Tory Lanez. There's a suspect with immunity, and there's a security guard saying that this man didn't shoot her, his client did, that has immunity, by the way, when it first happened. So it's not even a thing about that. But when you look into people like Desiree Perez for Rock Nation and how they stand with Jay-Z and a lot of things that they have been doing over time, the prosecutor, when she was there, it was so funny how they even allowed her to be in the room. So that's how you know she used to work with police and a lot of things back in the day to have certain ties and certain powers in certain places. So she was able to be in that situation with Meagan The Stallion and the prosecutor. Preferably not trying to come in as a radio, not coming in as a music executive, but I'm sure she came in and was seen as a higher entity than just some Rock Nation music executive. So to the public, it's Rock Nation music executive in a real shooting case up against who is the real Desiree Perez to the police? Who is Desiree Perez to the system? Who is her to the government? So those powers that be allowed her in that room. And this is another thing that came out in the reports with security and things of that nature about how the case was handled from the jump and the bamboozling of how everything in evidence. So this is what I mean about why she's about to get exposed. And then actually too, this is what's really crazy. Because somehow, some way, Jay-Z, we know he ain't gotta talk, he ain't gotta say nothing, he ain't gotta be on nothing. But somehow, some way, but see, that's the difference. Now, see, that's something now that's new to the case right there, too, right there, Tanya, because I didn't know that. The first lawyer, Sean Holly's daughter, used to sing backup for Beyonce. You see what I'm saying? These are the things that I'm talking about, people being tied in. And see, in the music industry, you really don't know who's tied in with who, or whose parents, or whose family, or whose, because even like, and this is nothing to do with Tory Lanez, with Diddy's situation is crazy because Diddy daddy was an informant for the CIA back in the day. Okay, and then I didn't know that Clyde Davis used to work with Diddy's dad. That's how Diddy and Clyde Davis got popping. You understand? So when I say, I'm just throwing that out there as not knowing who parents and how people bloodline is actually involved with these things. Because thinking about a lawyer's Sean Holly's daughter singing backup for Beyonce, you gotta know somebody for that. That ain't just happening. But this is a lawyer daughter doing that. So you know it's ties. Oh man, trust me, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something about Diddy. Compared to Diddy and Tory Lanez situation, there's no comparison. It's just the level that's going on with Diddy, and I got a whole nother video that's already put in play with Diddy's situation because it's so deep with Diddy. But Trump is gonna find himself pardoning Diddy, and people gonna be mad. But let's get back to that Tory. What's going on with that? We gotta pray about that brother, man, because that's my whole point of being live. We gotta pray for that brother, man, because you know you just can't watch Tory Lanez. I mean, we can't do nothing about it, but pray. But Tory Lanez really in a situation that if God don't, I mean, God has stepped in. See what I'm saying? And this is how you know that this was that's what I'm talking about, Frank. But see, Tanya, this is how you know that the sacrificing of someone or the humiliation of them grants and awards that person what they have. Because for Meagan Thee Stallion to all of a sudden have some Rock Nation music and some show called Reasonable Doubt, come on, fam. Anytime you do something crazy or you come against something, you're rewarded for the shit. And that's definitely what's going on with Meagan. She's rewarded for that Tory Lanez hit. And she been rewarded. And now all this stuff coming out on her, that all them shows gonna look real stupid when people really get the fullness of that man has been wrongly accused. It's gonna be drove, embarrassing, and all of those ratings or whatever is dropping like flies. Watch what I tell you. Because at the end of the day, when people found out, it's right in our face. And that's the thing. When people found out that Meagan lied, people would see her at her shows and talk shit to her right in her face. Just like they did Gunna when they let Gunna out after him talking about he snitched, dry snitched on paper with Young Thug. People seen that shit. They started calling them soft snitch, bitch, all that. That's the point. Let her be in St. Louis and niggas see that bullshit. They gonna let her know about herself. Because we can't allow these people to come do these shows in our cities and know that they just did what they did to somebody, wrongly accused somebody, and now they walking around like still supporting my music and still spend all of these thousands of dollars on all of my brands and all of that. Should not another motherfucker buy nothing from Meagan. You understand? Not another nobody should never buy nothing else from Meagan Thee Stallion. Because I'm going to tell you something. And shout out to that, Cassandra. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what's interesting about it. Here we have people saying that Meagan Thee Stallion is a liar. And there's evidence proving that. And there's witnesses saying that. So in that case, don't get me wrong. She's not going to lose her entire following unless she's going to get locked up. Because people are going to say they deserve it. But the problem with America is now, in the hip-hop music, in the industry now, they forgive quick. Think about it. When Gunna got out from dry snitching, they said, if you looked at his concerts, they was packed and sold out like he never left. And everybody called that man a dry snitch from here to Jerusalem. So if you think about how the system is going to accept this Meagan Thee Stallion shit, you right. She's still going to eat probably, but it ain't going to be on that level. But then when you think about it, how many females really love Meagan Thee Stallion and really don't like Tory Lanez? Or how many females really support Tory Lanez for being straight up and down and really would hate Meagan Thee Stallion for lying? And how quick would they forgive her? Because she said somebody shot her and got that man locked up for damn near 2 years. Right, that's the thing. And that's how it works in the world today, Tanya. You got people to discredit. All you got to do is start a rumor. Like I said earlier, plant that seed. They planted a seed of him being on probation. Man wasn't even on probation. They planted a seed and said that he was an alcoholic. Never was an alcoholic. None of the above. They plant them seeds of discredit. And that lawyer went on a whole campaign to discredit him the whole time. That lawyer did. Holly got, yeah, he did. But what I'm saying is, America gonna forgive Meagan quicker than what they should. And that's messed up. Because Tory Lanez gonna get out. And he's going to sell albums, and he's going to sell like crazy. And Meagan Thee Stallion numbers are going to go down. But Rock Nation is not going to stop. They are not going to stop coming against Tory Lanez even when he get out. Because he's going to sell like crazy. The man was stabbed 14 times in jail. That's like getting shot and coming back reincarnated, dropping a new album. He's straight. That's the thing, though. Because now it's like, I had to figure out in my mind, if the music is not selling like it was, which it ain't. You're seeing all these commercials. You're seeing all of this clothing and his makeup line and all these other things. And I think that's the thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to lift her up, empower her, not just by the music, because she can't live and die by the music. They know that the streaming, you don't make money off no streaming today. Let's get that right now. You don't make money off streaming music. So you gotta do other things to make money. But for Meagan Thee Stallion, to make her a global superstar or to make her a major, a big superstar, she gotta be selling way more than everything else. But think about it. the music is not gonna sell no more like it used to because of this Tory Lanez situation, and because it's more women that's coming in the game because of Meagan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, all of these people. It's getting over filtered, so that plays a role too. But again, Rock Nation know what they're doing, marketing Meagan Thee Stallion in light of this situation. And now that this stuff has surfaced, they're telling her, don't worry about it, don't think about it, don't pay it no attention. See what I'm saying? Oh, now she about to open up a Popeye chicken in Miami. Think about that for a second, fam. What they're gonna do is just like they would in court. She's gonna oversaturate the game so much that this situation is gonna look like an ant to them. To where even when it comes out like it is, that Tory Lanez wasn't shot, they're gonna oversaturate. That's what I'm saying. Like when you working nonstop like Beyonce or like Jay-Z or whatever the case, it's like they don't even hear the rumors or the situations. But honestly, they hear that shit. They just not acting on it. What's the ideal outcome? And I appreciate you asking me that, Frank. Ideal outcome is they're gonna make and create Meagan as this big figure. And that she got so much going on that this situation is a small thing to a giant. They're gonna like settle on it and don't give it no real attention, because if they give it real attention, then at that point she's gonna really look guilty. So they're just gonna keeping her working, keeping her work. And when something big come out that Tory Lanez is about to get released at some point here, that's when it's gonna get out of hand, because Meagan is gonna be charged with something. Who is that? Tanya, you was the one that used to work at the you was the CEO. What do you think Meagan's gonna be charged with when it comes out that she lied? That's what I want to know. And Frank, that's what the outcome is gonna be. Because when she's charged with something, in that situation right there is where we're gonna find out what Rock Nation is gonna do in light of Desiree Perez being charged and sued right now. So now you got, okay, Ty, that we got. So now you got perjury in your face. You got Meagan thinking about perjury. And don't think she ain't been thought about it already. They thought about it when they told her what to tell her, what the story was. Perjury been on her mind. But now it's closer. So Frank, the outcome, yeah, perjury is on the line. And she gonna have to tell who said or she gonna have to spill the beans. And if she don't spill the beans, she gonna be walking around with the whole public eye pressuring her about spilling the beans. She definitely gonna stick to her story. Why? Because she's more scared of Rock Nation than she is the government, in my mind. But it's another part to that. Because for her to be more scared of the people that's around her that put her in this situation, she's more scared of them because of what they're capable of. Why? Because of what they just did to Tory. You right, Frank. It definitely ain't the same outcome. They can wipe me off. They can wipe me off the map right now for $2. And they got billions. But I gotta pay somebody a million just to get rid of a nigga. I ain't got millions. You get what I'm saying? Rock Nation is gonna be thrown under the bus more quicker than Meagan. They will let Meagan drive before they let Rock Nation fall. Let's make sure we understand that. Because the only way that this will go down is if Meagan cracks and can't take it no more, and she come out the woodworks. Because I seen the interview where Meagan was like, she look at Jay-Z and Desiree and them as so cool, because she always talk about the stuff in the media that she always hearing. But she said when they out of town and they on these trips, Desiree and Jay-Z and all them people be like, man, chill out. We don't know nothing. We don't hear nothing. We don't think about nothing. So that tells you they heard, but they ignore it. Meagan heard and she worried about it. Why? Because she from the hood. You understand? She tripping off of it. She ain't never got into this type of shit. Boy, this gangster shit. You understand? This gangster shit. She ain't built for this. You understand me? You right, Frank. And who gonna take the heat? Meagan. You gotta understand something, man. Let me tell you something, man. Meagan ain't Beyonce. They can find another Meagan. They can find a better Meagan. Meagan gonna take the heat. Meagan don't matter. Meagan ain't Whitney Houston. She ain't Beyonce. She ain't nothing that matter. Rock Nation is what matters. She taking the heat. And they trying to figure out how they gonna bury her in the kitchen, in the stove, in the oven. It's real. Yeah. So while they doing all this TV shows, Popeyes in Miami, your Revlon, your clothing lines, all that. Listen, man, it don't matter. When them people call you and they pull up, because they done already contacted her people. The lawyer guy said that they contacted her people and wanted them to know because they the ones that reached out and said, hey, we have evidence, further evidence on this situation. Would you all like to know? Meagan Thee Stallion people reached out, which was Rock Nation. Yes, they would, which I'm sure they already knew of. But the suspect, the girl that actually did the shooting, her people didn't reach out. Why? Because she already has immunity. She has no reason to reach out. She has immunity. She's already told people what she's done for immunity. So that's another reason why, hey, yo, Cassandra, I don't know what you thinking about, but you understand, for you to get immunity, you have to tell what you did. So the police are fully aware of who shot this person. Are we not thinking about this, people? Like, let's be real here. Let's use our thinking caps. Put your thinking cap on. The only way for you to get immunity is you have to tell your side of the story. I'll wait on you. So that means police already knew. Right. You put a restrainer on someone that's already in jail, and yet you have immunity, full immunity. So the police already know your story. And that brings me to another crooked point. If you already got full immunity and you told your story, your side, that what you did, and then the security guard come out later and say, you actually did it, she's still gonna walk, right? Ain't that right, Ms. Green? She's still gonna walk because of full immunity. So it don't do nothing but put Meagan Thee Stallion in a perjury situation, which makes her have to say she's going to either take the perjury situation. They're going to either give her, I mean, what? They probably going to give her, see, that's what I'm saying. They're probably going to give her what? Probation? Because these people got so much money, Frank, that they can give her the perjury charge. She take it, and then they give her probation. 1,000 years probation. She don't even see the jail cell, right? That's worst case, what I'm thinking in my head for her, being still dealing with Rock Nation and them taking care of her. But in my head, I just didn't understand how a person telling them, that's why I'm a little lost at, because if whoever don't really have full immunity, then they about to deal with something right here, man. And this is the end case of what you was asking me, Frank, about end game in this. It's about who got full immunity, and then it's about who don't. And then Meagan Thee Stallion gonna have to take that perjury charge, and then Rock Nation gonna either get a situation where it's probation and she don't even see a year in jail. She can still be charged. And old girl old girl, what's her name? I can't think old girl name with J Prince family. Old girl, yeah, old girl. That's what I'm saying. they can still be, she could still be charged for that. And if she could still be charged for that time, then okay, now we popping that. Because now your full immunity did what for you? That's what I don't understand. You get full immunity for nothing, but you can still be charged for telling, for the judge telling on, for the security guard telling on you, saying that you was the real shooter. So what was the point of the full immunity? Because now that the security guard came out, it's a wrap. She can claim, it's so many things that Meagan can claim, but we all know she can definitely get charged for perjury. Because at the end of the day, Tory Lanez was in the front seat. They was in the back. Am I correct? That Tory Lanez was in the front. They were in the back. Security guard said that the girl shot Meagan. He said Tory Lanez came up and slapped the gun down. That was that. So like I say, in game, we're looking at perjury on Meagan part. And depending on what the story was for old girl that got full immunity, she might have told the truth for the full immunity. She might have said, yo. Or she might have lied. But see, I don't understand. You lie and you get full immunity. You don't get full immunity from lying. Am I right? Kersey, right. You don't get full immunity from lying. You got to tell the truth for you to get the full immunity. Right. All of a sudden, she ain't set in stone anymore. Right. Once you put the money on the line, you already know that's what's gonna happen for Meagan Thee Stallion in this case. Some short of what I'm thinking for Diddy. Sidebar, just like the Diddy case, the man is a billionaire. He just won the lawsuit against the Deala people. You got to understand, Tory Lanez, you just do 1 million copies on that. He did 1 million copies on the GTL on the thing that they be selling for 1 million copies, and then all of a sudden you getting targeted. It's deeper and it's bigger than what they make it out to be. And the money wipe it away. And that's why I'm telling you, Meagan Thee Stallion gonna fold up like a lawn chair. Watch what I tell y'all. She gonna fold up like a lawn chair. Something's gonna happen. Rock Nation gonna take care of it, and she only gonna do probation. Watch what I tell you. She gonna do nothing. And that's why it's up to us. That's what I'm talking about. But see, and that's what they've been targeting people's catalogs. When they've been trying to do deals, they've been targeting catalogs because they want your catalog to get that bag off of that from that NFT, as well as knowing that they can continuously make money off your catalog through life. They could just get rid of you and just make money through your catalog the rest of your days. So they understand the new system of how to get money. But that's the problem with the NFT. Tory Lanez broke that. And that's why they own him like they is on him. Because now if they let him out, he's going to go right back to getting money off NFT. It's so wild that he is still in jail right now, Frank. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, how long has it been? And getting in the best of Kersey, and she pulled the gun to get Meagan off her. That's the point I'm saying. Typical women fighting in the back. Old girl get the gun because Meagan Thee Stallion big, tough. She a stallion. She's strong. She can handle hers. The girl was like, not today. Pulled the thing out, hit her in the leg couple times, like back up. And Tory like, nah, and dropped it down. And that's a real thing here. But I'm sure the full immunity come from them giving that story of what really happened in that car. And for the police to take that, no, see, it do make sense. Let me tell you why it makes sense about why the security did not say nothing from the first jump. Let's all be clear right here, right now. Let's all be clear, Frank, Tanya, Cassandra, all us. Let's be clear, Princess Kelly, all of us. The security guard, if I was the security guard, if you was a security guard, and you in a situation that's dealing with Rock Nation or Bad Boys, and this is Diddy or Jay-Z, and you get a call the next day and they telling you it's in your best interest not to talk about this, thank you. They gonna find somebody to pillow talk, and they gonna somehow get rid of your ass. You understand me? The security guard care about his life more than he care about Tory Lanez. That's what that is. And he knew what it was, because why? The moment it happened, Rock Nation, Derez Perez, and this is all speculation of me talking, but I'm sure when it happened, the first person Meagan called was Perez. Meagan had a knot on her head and Kersey's legs were scratched up, so that mean they back there banging. And women just fighting. And that's what it was. And somebody had a gun and Kersey whipped it out. But the thing I'm saying is, I'm talking about how right now, if you the security guard in that situation, you scared for your life. They gonna kill you if you say something. If you say, my client shot Meagan Thee Stallion, but the whole thing is set up for Tory Lanez to be in that car with Meagan Thee Stallion that night. Think about it, fam. How they even get in the car together? And think about when Meagan Thee Stallion started even talking to Tory Lanez, started targeting him, like liking him, talking to him, acting like they finna do this and that. I mean, she literally started tuning in to this guy. Because you start seeing the pictures with Tory Lanez dancing on and all of this. You seeing this stuff happen. Then all of a sudden at this party, you leave with this girl, y'all get into it. The girl pull out the gun to back her up to back Meagan up off of it, and then you give Tory the case? What? And the Kardashian. When I heard that it was a Kardashian involved, I knew from the jump, oh, this about to be what's the stories? This is about to be when the world turns. You feel me? Because everything the Kardashians in, you know it's got to be something crooked, crazy, and corrupt. All with a K. Crooked, crazy, corrupt. But it's just a fact that all of a sudden that night, that happened that night, when Meagan Thee Stallion started talking to Tory Lanez, just all of a sudden from having to deal with Rock Nation. And Rock Nation tell them it's in your best interest not to do that statement the next day after that conflict in the car, and then that shot go off. Nah, man, you know that's a setup, Frank. So you gotta know what's going on here, man. You gotta stop. You gotta use your thinking cap. Use your brain here. It's nothing about saying that it don't make sense that the security guard didn't say nothing in the first place. You and I wouldn't have said nothing probably if somebody called us and told us, shut up. Because if you say something, I'm getting rid of you, your kids, your mama, your grandpa, and your father, and your granddaddy, and your brothers, and your sisters, and your future kids. You know security got that call. Yeah. Yeah, he got that. See, it's funny because there's so many people in the world that think, why wouldn't the security say nothing at the time? And if you come from where I come from, and if you really been through something, you'll understand. You're dealing with the most powerfulest people in the world. And Meagan Thee Stallion is signed to one of the biggest organizations in the music industry that controls a lot. And now we talk about, what about old girl that was with Meek when the Bronx Chick Melly? Or with Chick Melly and them, okay, with Meagan started with Tory. After that 1 million a piece, and this was Meagan team was paying Kersley rent for a year. See, this is what I'm talking about, because see, now these are even more facts. Because why would they be paying 1 million a piece and paying Meagan? Team was paying Kersley rent for a year. Why would they be doing that? Why would they be paying her rent for a year? Why? They ain't doing that because they bored. That's compensation. Come on, fam. Come on, fam. We know there's compensation for keeping your mouth shut, even though you got full immunity. What? Yes, that's the point I'm making, Frank. Yeah. You ain't got to think about it, but think about it. We got to use our brain here, man. Security scared to tell the truth. Rock Nation then threatened Tory Lanez. He threatened all of them. Rock Nation threatened everybody, including Meagan. They told, girl, you better shut up too. Do what we tell your ass to do, nothing else. Told Tory, you better not make no statement. And then they done paid them $1 million, Kersey and them to shut up and pay her rent for a year. Come on, fam. You gotta know. They gonna clean up after theyself, man. They gonna get them brooms out and sweep up everybody under the rug that need to be swept. But this what I'm talking about when it come down to the people having a voice. Because at the end of the day, we still the people. Even though it's the money, we still the people that accept that shit because we ain't got no voice coming against it. You get what I'm saying? Meagan going broke. They took her money. That's why she at Tiana Taylor house and didn't take all. See, and that's what I'm saying. See, shout out to you, Kelly. See what I'm saying? Going broke. And see, that's the thing. If she going broke, see, that makes a good point. Because if she going broke, that means all of this propaganda and all of this extra curriculum shit they doing to make her image stay as it is, they know that her shit is slowly declining. It's slowly declining. And then they keeping her around other artists, like some Tiana Taylor type shit, to take care of it and keep it together. Because honestly, in our mind, Rock Nation probably didn't gave up on Meagan The Stallion already. They used her to get Tory. And they used her for her music as well. Now think about how they not even dropping her music, but yet they pushing her image. You get what I'm saying? So why would they be pushing her image and not pushing her music, but she going broke? Because ain't nobody buying the music. So they got to push the image so they can buy the image. So why I think, so Cassandra say, so why I think security is speaking up now after all this time, knowing he will have a great target on him now. Let me tell you something. Like I said earlier, if you a human that has a conscience, that means that it's hard for you to sit back and see something bad happening. Because we have charisma. We care. Yeah, when this first happened, you would be scared too because you wouldn't know what to do. You can think to want to do the right thing, but if the right thing is going to get you killed, you're going to think and hesitate before that. Now think about it. How many days have this security guard have to hear and live in his mind knowing what really happened and wake up every day with that on his mind, knowing that he probably care about people, he got loved ones, he probably got kids, he might even have a family. So that's one reason why he never said nothing in the first place, because of his family probably and his own life. But when you have family, you have love, you have realness, you have heart. At some point, the corrupt shit is going to affect you. And you're going to have to open up your damn mouth and say, man, that little dude didn't do nothing to nobody. I was there. Because he said it in his statement. I can't watch this brother be in jail for something he didn't do. But yet you had him in jail for about a year and something right now. So I'm still mad at security. I don't care what the motherfucker talking about. Yeah, I'm glad he came out and said something. But boy, you late. And I know I get it. Like if he was like a week late, a month late, 2 months late, cool. Boy, he over a year late. And Tory just got stabbed up 14 times. He extra late. So he don't get no credit for real. Because that man almost died. And he could have been told that man, told them people about that man, and then all of a sudden. But think about it. This is how you know it's true that he is scared of the people when it first happened and why he didn't say nothing, because those same people had something to do with him getting stabbed 14 times. So that's why security didn't say nothing the first time, because security would have got stabbed up 14 times, fam. Come on now. Princess Kelly say they had to give up on her because she didn't crush Nicki Minaj. See, that's a real thing too. Because you got to understand, Nicki Minaj could never be given up on because she has, see, her pen different. Nicki pen different. Her look different. The music she creates is different. She has range. Nicki Minaj has range. And she's shown that throughout the years and stayed the course. Everybody has had a reign, R-E-I-G-N, reign. But some people, only certain people have range, R-A-N-G-E. And because Nicki Minaj has range, Meagan Thee Stallion can't deal with that range. You understand? She can't get into other genres of music with other artists and still make hits at a high level, but not even, if not even higher. So that's why she couldn't. And that makes sense what you're saying there, because she couldn't hang with Nicki Minaj. And that put her in that subscription. Shout out to you, Cassandra. I appreciate you. All love. Good night. Respectfully, that's that. But like I say, Princess Carrie, she say everybody still has the right to remain silent. Respectfully. And people got to know that. That's why it's written down to tell you you have that right. But you got to understand, with that right, it comes consequence. Or can you handle that right? Can you handle the right to remain silent in every situation? Or are you built like that? See, people ain't built like that. Niggas ain't been through nothing. I don't wish anything on anyone, but a lot of people ain't been through nothing. And the people that been through something, they think that's really something until they really get on something that they ain't really been through yet. And now they know, oh, they can't hang with that. So when I tell you about the right to remain silent, in this situation made sense, but that brother remained silent because of his life. And now his life is starting to tear apart and he can't take it no more. So he got to speak up. And then all of a sudden, Tory Lanez stabbed. The security guard should feel bad about the stabbing. As much as he didn't say nothing, he still should feel bad for the stabbing because that man almost lost his life. Princess Kelly say the title lawsuit. When is that coming? Because the lawsuit towards Tory? Or is that the lawsuit that Title got on his own? Title got their own, so they got their own lawsuit? What's that about? See, now we dealing with another case here where you talking about Title got a lawsuit on the line that nobody know about. And if they knowing about it, what is that dealing with? Okay, Lil Wayne got his money because everybody didn't get their money from that streaming. See, this is what I'm talking about. Because when Tidal came out and they started pushing Tidal streaming site and people start finding out that you really don't make no money from streaming, they don't want to release all the funds that come with the streaming. That's why they're underpaying artists for so much, for so many streams. You get what I'm saying? So you're looking at that. But right now, Jay-Z, Rock Nation, Desiree Perez, they're all being sued. I do remember Nicki said she didn't get paid. And I remember that not too far from when Tidal had first did their concert, I believe. When Tidal did a live concert pushing Tidal brand when it first came out. But I'm going to say this, because at the end of the day, all of them have a lawsuit on them separately, if not even together. So you got to think about it. Jay-Z is going through a situation talking about something about him raping a girl back in the day and having a child by this child. And this child out here saying Jay-Z his daddy and Jay-Z not saying nothing at all. That's one situation. Then you got a situation with Diddy that his name is involved in. That's another crazy situation. Then you got a situation that you and your company is involved in that has to do with Miss Desiree Perez and her daughter and husband that's suing them as a unit. That's 3 situations. You get what I'm saying? And then you got this main situation with this Meagan Thee Stallion shit. That's 4 or 5 situations. Lawsuits, period, just across the board. What are we talking about, fam? That's not true. Tory did not get stabbed. Let's get it right, Princess Kelly. Who said the man ain't got stabbed? Because even when Sunstar, his daddy, said he got stabbed, he was in there with him with the conversation saying the man got stabbed 14 times. And they marked out where they said he got stabbed at too. So we got to get the information correct because the world's saying he got stabbed 14 times. Jay-Z song Snake Oil. What's that about? Is that about Tory? getting stabbed up. Because Tory Lanez done got stabbed 14 times. That's a real thing. They say that man came out his hoodie. And if he didn't come out the hoodie, he was gonna die. They said he slid up out the hoodie. Man tried to grab him, he grabbed the hoodie. Man fell on the floor. He doing this, kicking his feet. I mean, you can see the video, fam. Like, what we talking about here, man? It's hard to believe he didn't get stabbed. Right, that's what I'm saying, Frank. Say the man got jammed up for real. So we gotta look at what we talking about here, man. Because this just not by coincidence. And then we gotta pray for brother Tory Lanez, because you know he really fighting some real demons right now that want that man gone. And this is happening publicly, right in our face. Right in our face. LaTanya Green say Rock Nation wanted to give her $1 million to shut her up, and Nicki Minaj refused to take the money because she said she not taking no hush money. Princess Kelly say insurance money is the only bag. Right. That's why they getting rid of artists and making an insurance bag off of you. And that insurance claim is what's keeping these people and these labels felt off of these artists. Because if you're not going to do what they tell you to do, you're going to become an insurance claim. And that's just what it is. I understood that then. And when you talking about people like Triple X Extension and all these other artists where money is still being made after the death. You know, you look at Takeoff from Migos and you say, wow, like, what was really that? But then you look at Quavo and you're seeing his gain from it independently, and you're seeing Offset fall from it. It's something that ain't really making sense or matching up. And you can tell even then when it happened that they was on that. Okay, Princess Kelly said they just want Desiree family to be quiet, insurance money. True. Because the case that's against Desiree is her daughter telling the world of all of the enterprising and the scandal and the government relationships and the power that Desiree possesses over the years. You understand what I'm saying? Respectfully. And I respect that, Princess Kelly. I respect that, because at the end of the day, you know, my dealings with music and being involved and just getting my feet wet and seeing things in that, and my dealings in music I've dropped, and just finding myself in situations and being, you know, J. Cole, meeting J. Cole, getting a part of certain things. It's like I could tell, you know, there's always a story, but you don't really know is that the true story, because it's so filtered. And it's so out there. And it's so looked at a certain way. Because if Tory Lanez is not stabbed, then that's the same situation about how Ellen DeGeneres' wife, how they said that she was dead and she wasn't. She was in an ambulance, back of an ambulance truck. Respectfully, that numerology is all numerology. It's all numerology. Because at the end of the day, when you living in that land and you in that and the numbers match up, the numbers say you're living or the numbers say you're dying. That's what that really is, fam. Respectfully. But you got to have position and you got to have power in your music and in your position to know who you are and what you're doing. But when you're dealing with this game, it's all numerology. It's always been numerology. Because even when, I'm gonna tell you something else too that really hit me different when it comes to like basketball and football and just numbers. That's how I know the NBA and football is all entertained numerology of how they run the system. Because it's all numbers. Even in sports, it's numbers. So this team wins by this margin, or this team wins by this number. It represents something in numerology, period, of that person. Even with Kobe Bryant, that 80-point game he did, that represented something. So I get where you at with that, Princess Kelly. I really do understand where you at with that. But see, people always calling that conspiracy theories, and that really gets on my nerves with the conspiracy thing, because some stuff is just right here in your eye, right in your face. And you don't need no rocket scientists for a lot of it. But when it comes down to the numerology, you may need a scientist on it for you to understand and figure those points out. So I understand that. But to know why Tory Lanez was not stabbed 14 times, I need to really know why and how it benefits. Because to me, now you have the public in a frenzy for a reason of distraction. That's what I'm thinking. If he wasn't stabbed, then they threw that out there for distraction. What are they distracting us from? Decisions made in high places is how I feel. They're distracting us from decisions made in high places. So that's the only reason I would think that they would say Tory Lanez was stabbed, but he really wasn't. Because once you come out and say Tory Lanez was stabbed, the world is going to go crazy. And now everybody's focused on Tory Lanez for a whole day. Just like they was about Michael Jackson when they said he got killed. At his funeral, everybody tuned in the funeral day and the day of him being killed. Like nothing else was going on. Everybody was just focused on that situation. So anything could have happened those days because everybody focused was on one thing. That's all I could think if Tory Lanez didn't get shot, didn't get stabbed, I mean. It had to be a distraction thrown out there for us to grab that. But never the more or nor the less, I still say, if he's stabbed, coincidentally, after knowing that the security guard came out telling them that that man just said that his client shot Meagan The Stallion, then that'd be hard to think coincidentally that he just got stabbed out of nowhere for nothing. You know what I mean? Like how you getting stabbed nowhere for nothing? Come on, Kelly. Come on, Princess Kelly. If the man didn't get stabbed, what was that theatrical front for? Like, what was that for? The video. You gotta, I mean, did you see the video? Did y'all see the video? The man is on the ground wiggling for his life. That's the video. So he on the ground stabbing for his life and he ain't get stabbed. I mean, we gotta, come on, what we talking about here, man? We gotta, what we talking about? We gotta figure it out. If he didn't get stabbed, then what's the videos looking like and why he walking around with all this blood on him? And if that's the case, one thing in my mind that hit my mind, okay, now we see what I'm saying, Latanya, you see what I'm saying? You with me? You like, yeah, that man was stabbed. But fam, like, nah, that man wasn't. But if he wasn't, and it really came down to some ritualistic shit, when he was walking around with all the blood on him, that makes me further think like them artists that be in them tubs with blood on them, or they doing them videos and they in all that blood. Okay, now see, let's get that right. Because Princess Kelly say so he can go to a safer facility and draft out his money that he getting from NFT. Now, let's get an understanding on that, because if he wasn't stabbed, but yet he was taken away, what powerful being allowed him to just be taken away without something to harm him? Because if he wasn't stabbed, then how was he even taken away to even get to this facility? Something had to happen for them to even get him up out of there. So this is what I mean by who controlling what. Because if Rock Nation tried to come at him and stab him up, then that means Tory ain't got no power in there over no COs to just escape without being stabbed up. Michael Jackson was strong. Hold up, Princess Kelly say Michael Jackson was strong enough to fight Bubbles. I mean, I get all of that, but I'm just saying, like how you get out of that just so you get to another facility so you can get your money from the NFT. Okay, so if you can get your money from the NFT, okay, you getting your money. Now you got money, but you still locked up or you still incarcerated. You're just not locked up in the jail cell. So I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to get the thickness of it to figure out if he wasn't stabbed, then what's all this blood on him, and where is he at now? Because his daddy was like, "Yo, I talked to my son, and he like, yo, he's doing better. You know, he's healing, and we hoping that he don't get locked, that he don't have to go back to the jail cell." So I'm just trying to get an understanding, you know what I mean, of the situation. Because to me, that man just got stabbed 14 times, and now he out here making sure he don't go back to the same jail to kill his ass. I mean, but if he gonna mean it, okay, so Princess Kelly say he gonna get paid from the prison. So if he gonna get paid from the prison, is this a gesture of the prison doing this for him? Okay, now I see what you're saying on that, because for this to happen, he definitely gonna get paid from the justice system. This is like suing the jail cell for me almost losing my life on y'all watch. Is basically what that is. But to get paid from the NFT, I'm sure he making his team. I'm sure his team making their money from the NFT. I'm sure that's happening. You know what I'm saying? But when we talking about, he finna have to do a due process to get paid from the justice system about getting stabbed up. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to think that the man ain't got stabbed up, because he definitely done got stabbed up, like for real. It's hard to believe that. Blood coming all down, all this and that. It's just hard to believe the man ain't got stabbed up. I'm just trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? But I'm going to leave it there for sure, because at the end of the day, we know we're going to have to play for that brother, because whether he got stabbed up or not, he is in jail for being innocent and for something he didn't do. What Princess Kelly said, okay, so how was he able to have conjugal visit with his girlfriend and marry her? He didn't have life. He had to tell her to play. I mean, you saying how was he able to have those visits? See, this is the thing I'm saying. I'm sure, because his dad say that certain CEOs is treating him, you know, helping him. And they saying that he praying, because they don't believe that he shot Meagan The Stallion. Let's put that out there, okay? So I believe that it's certain people that's in the certain CEOs in there that's on his better side for him to even be in a situation to do what you just said. Have a conjugal visit with his girlfriend. I mean, come on, man, he's still a rapper. He's still a famous guy. I'm sure Diddy got locked up and they let somebody come in that motherfucker that wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? These them people. So, you know, when these rappers getting locked up, I'm sure they baby mama can come in that thing. Probably for 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the money. Right? Don't you agree? I mean, that's that. But I don't think that conjugal visit says, hey, yeah, but that if that $1 billion information is given to you based off you making that type of money, or you making that hit on him for you to get paid, because think about it, what is that information that's valuable. We do have wedding in prison. Okay, respectfully, Tanya, thank you for saying it, because my partner Larry, white guy, good guy, older guy, he got married in prison. Motherfucker came to visit him, they got married, that was that. So that is a real thing, you know what I'm saying? And I forgot about that because my dog did get, yeah, he did. But the point I'm making though is that even though you have those visits, that don't mean that, you know, you hooked up to the system some type of way to be able to just leave jail and go get NFT money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's different. You feel me? That's not your business. Now what you mean, like my business as far as him being able to get those visits, or not my business as far as, you know, how he conducting when it comes to the NFT money and him getting his money? Because again, his team, I'm sure he's still making his NFT money off music, off NFT, off of all of that. You know what I mean? I'm sure of that. Even his people was that. He just started foundations helping people, all type of shit up in there. It's real. But the part about, you know, saying like, you're not going to stab the boy without getting valuable $1 billion information, that information helps you tell somebody that you know trying to kill him. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, respectfully, I get it. It is the government because, again, Desiree Perez being tied to certain people that's bigger than her, bigger than Jay. And then it's so funny because coincidentally, this guy that went after him was Mexican. Coincidentally. And it's funny because I'm like, yo, if y'all gonna come at Tory, why would y'all choose a Mexican guy that can go right back to somebody that got to do with Desiree, her Mexican ass, and be trying to think like, oh, that's who did that, or that's who coming at him? Yeah, he's getting that double bubble because that's the situation he's in. But the fact when we say the government, this is the music industry branch of the government. That's what I would say. This is the music industry branch of the government coming against that guy because of his position with NFT and his music and his power independently. So that's what I'm saying when it comes down to this, because at the end of the day, conjugal visits and stuff like that is a norm for a rapper. Is a norm for somebody of power that was an influence outside of prison. But when it comes down to the way they're going about it, yeah, I'm fully agreeing with you. You know, that's full-fledged government. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we got to pray Tory's strength in the Lord because they going to keep coming at him. And then think about it. When he get out, they really going to still keep coming at him. So really the question is, the time you say, hey, my brother, I'm out. I have a blessed morning. Princess Kelly, watch out. She working for Rock. Oh, man, it's different, ain't it, man? It's a real thing. I'm just thinking, who would really know? You really would know who or which that. But we're going to leave it right there for y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. The question is he going to be free or is Meagan going to get locked up? You hear me? It's your boy Deala T. There's no filters. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You already know. Oh, yeah, definitely, love. Definitely. It's blessed as Princess Kelly because you know how Diddy was moving. But definitely be looking out. Till next time, we rocking out. We doing it. Deala T, no filters. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to rock with y'all tomorrow. Be looking for me. All right, family, good night. Yeah.